welcome to Our Dinner is Done. I'm Sally.
I'm Jimmy.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Tonight we're making something super easy. It's kind of like a summery type of meal.
It is, but
the weather's been really nice the past couple of days, and it's going to be a really nice weekend. Last week we had like that really gloomy, cold weather, and we had soups. And tonight we're going to make something a little lighter and a little bit
more summery.
Summer-like. But we had some left. We had some container of crab meat left. We had bought 2 of them for like another recipe, and we had another one left over, so we wanted to use that up, and we had some nice veggies to go with it. So we're going to make a crab linguine pasta with some tomatoes, shallots, garlic, asparagus, and a little bit of spinach. So we're going to make it kind of like veggie heavy with the crab. And so the first thing that we're going to do is prep the asparagus, because we're going to roast the asparagus in the oven and then add it to the pasta later on. You could, if you want, you can prepare the asparagus and like saute it and make it in a saute pan along with the sauce, but we figured we're going to oven roast it. We just kind of like the flavor
of it,
more that way.
Just makes sense to us.
Hello everybody for joining us. Huntman, I'm not sure who you are, but it says headlock and Noogie Sally for 10 seconds. You would totally do that. I don't know who that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's so funny. All right, so we're gonna get started with
our asparagus. So we have a bushel of washed asparagus right now. So these are a little bit thick. Therefore, in order for them to cook down, we're going to peel them just because they're going to be a little bit too fibrous.
And you usually just peel towards the end, right? Or you do peel the whole thing?
Yeah, so I want to, with the thicker ones, I'm going to peel just from the whole top down. And then we'll slice the bottoms off. So you don't necessarily have to do this, but I find that the asparagus can be a little too fibrous, and this just makes it so much easier.
Right.
If it's a thinner stalk, then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So as I go through, I'm just going to peel the thicker stalks.
Okay. Excellent. And we're just going to really, we're going to coat these with a little bit of olive oil, some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then we're just going to let them roast up in the oven. They roast up relatively quickly.
Yeah, and we are going to chop these up.
Yeah, and we're going to chop them up a little bit smaller. Right now we have our oven preheated to 400, and they'll just roast up in there really nicely. I also have a big pot of water that is getting ready to boil here. We'll use that with our linguine. You can use linguine, you could use spaghetti, you could use fettuccine. I just think a longer noodle works better for this dish. We use a lot of long noodles in the house, especially with seafood. I just feel like they work better.
It's always kind of our classic pairing.
But all you're going to really need for this is a little bit of lemon, some shallots, some garlic, and if you have some spinach on hand, you can go with that, and a little bit of, we're going to use a couple of cherry tomatoes too. So
just to brighten up the dish.
Bright kind of light pasta. And we'll always also have a side of Italian bread when we eat pasta.
Always.
It's good for dipping, and also just good to have on the side.
It's good to always have some Italian bread.
Yeah.
At all times. You never know.
Pretty much. Can I help you do that, or?
No, I got it. It's just going to take such a time.
All right, so just check the chat. All right. Hi, Soul on Fire. Yeah, crab linguine. We're using store-bought crab for this. This is like an easy dish. We're not going like, I don't know if we would ever do something like that on this channel. Like prepare crab and take the crab meat out. No thanks. We're gonna just.
It's worth paying the money for somebody else to do it for you.
Exactly. And when you get something like this, you'll notice it here like this, and this is actual crab. So sometimes you can get like imitation crab meat at the supermarket. If it's something that you like, you could do that. I think imitation crab meat is actually pollock. Right?
Yeah, it's used in a lot of different sushi.
Right, but these are a swimming crab, blue swimming crab, 100% wild caught crab. They're steamed, hand-picked, graded, sealed, pasteurized for excellent quality and flavor. So these are actual crabs. And I'm just going to keep them in the fridge until we're ready to use them because this is going to go in towards the very end. You're really only going to need to kind of heat these through just to get them at the very end in the sauce. So let's see, what's going on today in the stream? Anything good? We have our dog standing nearby. He likes to get, this is Meatball. I don't know if anybody can see him on the screen right now. Can you see Meatball? No. He loves green beans and carrots, and sometimes we shave carrots. We actually did that the other night, so he's hanging around here thinking that it's carrots. I don't know if they could eat asparagus. I'm not really sure.
Either.
Something I'd have to look up. I know that there's so much that they can't eat, but there are several veggies that they can't. I'm not sure about asparagus on that one. So he's almost done peeling these up, and then we're also going to chop them into smaller bite-sized pieces, just so that we don't have big long stalks in the pasta sauce. It'll be a little bit easier to eat them when they're smaller. He's going to finish that. I'll chop them up. We'll put them in a big bowl with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic powder, right? And that's it. And then they're going to go right into the oven. We'll pay attention to how long they'll be in for. I guess we'll set them for about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, they'll
and then we'll change. And then we'll take them out, give them a stir, and put them in for an additional few minutes. Okay. So if you can see our countertop there, he's going to put the garbage in one bowl, just easier for cleanup. I was watching Alex Forcelli the other day, and she was cutting a shallot. She was talking about shallots. And when she uses her cutting board, when she prepares onions or garlic or anything like that, she usually uses a paring knife to peel everything. She says anything you don't want to eat, don't put on your cutting board.
Oh.
So like the skin, because like you get like dirt and grime, and sometimes from veggies or like from onions or whatever. So she said just take those off. He's cutting the ends off of the asparagus.
Always want to. It's just going to be a little bit too fibrous.
Too fibrous, yeah. It'll be a little too thick. So we're going to cut those off.
We're going about an inch long.
Yeah. I feel like that's just, that's a good size. And then they're going to cook. They're going to cook down pretty quickly. These aren't super thick pieces either. So it shouldn't take that long. This whole dish shouldn't take long, really.
No, it really shouldn't. That was probably the most labor-intensive thing we're going to do.
And they're probably going to take the longest. They're going to take the longest to cook. The pasta itself is going to take about 8 to 10 minutes. These will probably take a little over 10 minutes. And then we're going to whip up the sauce.
Yeah.
Really. So the first thing you're going to want to do, make sure your oven's preheated. Make sure you've got some boiling water, a big pot of boiling water here. Ours takes a little bit longer because we have this pot, this stainless steel pot that has the colander already in it. So it just takes a little while for it to heat up. So we like to kind of get that prepped before we start anything else. Good. That's all ready to go. Perfect. Some olive oil now, some sea salt, and some fresh ground pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. Good.
You need the garlic?
Oh, I forgot to bring it up. Good. Hey, Mark. Welcome.
I just need a sheet pan. So.
Sure. All right, and so now when we put these in the oven, you can see he's just tossing everything so that it's all evenly coated with the seasoning. It already smells good. Garlic powder, can't beat that. Would you like me to spray this?
Yeah, just
okay. We're gonna spray our sheet pan because it's kind of lost its luster a little bit, and we don't want them to stick on there. So I'm just gonna give it a quick spray.
If you have a nonstick sheet pan, it shouldn't stick.
Yeah.
This was a nonstick.
It's just
over time it kind of loses
it. We
it.
need a new one.
So I'm going to slide these on. It's going to shake it to space them out, just so they're not on top of one another.
So they
That's
cook
really
better.
all. They're just going to cook a little bit better. They're going to get a little char from the heat coming through the bottom. So that's why I want them spaced out so they're not on top of each other. And once we check them in 8 to 10 minutes, we might just flip them just to get a little char on the opposite
And
side.
they're gonna get nice and like crispy.
Mhm.
So they're gonna be yummy.
Meatball.
Hey, meatball.
Yeah.
Don't want to burn you. Okay, those are gonna go in. I'm gonna set the timer for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, that way we can put them.
Since it's not a whole lot. I accidentally turned the whole oven off. There we go. Now we're set. Okay, so now once he finished with that, the next thing we're going to do is chop up some of the other ingredients. So he'll chop up our shallot and chop up some garlic. And then also, we're going to be using cherry tomatoes, so you're going to cut these in half.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, so we'll cut these in half as well. And all of this is the stuff that you're going to need for the sauce. This is going to be a very light sauce, but it's going to be flavorful. We're going to use a little bit of white wine, and a couple little seasonings, and it's gonna go a long way for flavor. So, do you like to have seafood with pasta? I love it. That's one of my favorite things in the world to eat. Anybody in the chat agree? It's one of my favorite foods. I, as a kid, really like one of my favorite dishes was zuppa de pêche. So it's just all the different types of seafood, shellfish mixed in like a spicy marinara sauce over pasta. My favorite. My mom and I always used to share it at
Christmas Eve
restaurants.
meal too. My Christmas Eve meal.
Yeah,
Tastes
and
so
he
fishy.
makes it for Christmas. Amazing. So we usually include.
So
mussels.
it's not a real Italian thing. Well, I guess it depends on where you're from, but it's kind of been adopted more as like a Jersey Italian thing. But you have 7 fish, the 7 fishes.
Mm-hmm.
So we use mussels, clams, calamari. We say galamad. Well, I say
Galamad.
galamad.
Yeah.
You put a G in there.
Mhm.
It's mussels, clams, calamari, shrimp,
We've done lobster.
lobster. That was my dad's thing,
Mhm.
the Irishman.
And then a whitefish.
A whitefish. What was the one? Oh, scungio,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
is a another type of shellfish.
Yeah.
It's almost like a conch,
Conch shell.
conch style. We got it fresh from one year
Yeah, we did.
at a fish market.
Yeah.
I
Oh, we
can't
were talking
remember
about our
the
fish
name
market last on Wednesday. Our favorite place to get our seafood is now gone. Bummer.
But a decent place that has replaced it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have the scungio in a can, which
Right.
works.
Or sometimes they have it frozen, right?
No, the only time I got it frozen was at
Oh, it's the other
at
place.
Whole
Yeah.
Foods.
Okay.
Or,
So now we're gonna cut the shallot. This is like a medium-sized shallot.
yeah, nothing too big.
Not too crazy. We're gonna use this instead of onions. We use onions in pretty much like everything I think we make.
Yeah.
But as we've mentioned before on the show, shallots are more
mild
mild for children. So this is a nice. This will be a nice kind of change.
It'll be nice in this because it is smaller. It's a bit more mild. If we slice it really thin, it's really going to kind of liquefy into the sauce.
And get kind of buttery and yummy.
So I'm going to go very fine on my dice.
A nice fine chop there. Our water is. I just turned up the water to get it boiling here. Shallots can make you cry like onions too. They still do.
You do. You get emotional over them.
I actually really like the flavor of shallots a lot.
Really good. I love
Do you
them.
need a tissue?
Yeah, I'll be alright.
I actually really love shallots. I think they're a great flavor. And they have a nice smell too. I actually prefer the smell of shallots to onions because again, it's more mild. And then we're going to use about 3 to 5 cloves of garlic. We'll probably use 5. We always say 3 to 5 when we make our recipes for other people.
Who might not love garlic.
who might not
or
like it as much,
prefer to go a little bit more
but
mild.
we love it, so we're going to go big on the garlic. I'm just dropping the
Drop it
paper
all
here.
over.
Where's Meatball when you need him? He would totally eat that, and he shouldn't. Here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. you're just going to finely chop these as well.
Yeah.
There's paper everywhere. Good. Awesome. Okay. We have this cute little garlic holder in our kitchen that we found at a garage sale a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we love this thing. But it
Love
keeps the
it.
garlic really
It
fresh.
keeps the garlic really nice. It's like
But
this
it has
little
the
ceramic,
air vents on it. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
I'll pull up this one.
little ceramic like garlic holder
It has,
here.
like, little vents right there.
Little vents
so
for
they
to breathe, and then the little cork top. Perfect. We leave it out on our countertop because it's cute too. So then that's gonna get going. Would you like me to preheat the oil here, or want to wait a
Just give me
moment?
a sec.
And when we do start making the sauce, just be prepared to make the shallots first in some olive oil. You're going to let those cook down first, and then we'll later add the garlic. You don't want them to be cooking at the same time because the garlic has a tendency to burn, and you can kind of overkill it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, because then it's ruined. Turn that on. I'm going to put it on like medium-high for now. Let this oil kind of heat up, heat through. It's not a ton of shallots, so they'll start to cook pretty quickly. Good. We have about 2 minutes left on the asparagus. I'm just going to give them a quick peek. They're looking good already.
Salt and pepper.
Yes, adding some salt and pepper, we're layering those flavors on to the shallots. Anytime we kind of add a new ingredient in, we make sure to kind of season it again so that every layer or every component will have some seasoning. He goes like really fine on these pieces of garlic. They're nice and
Yeah.
big though, so it's a
They're
little
big, so
easier
it's
to cut that
That's
way.
it.
But you may have noticed when he was cutting the shallots and the garlic, he did the same thing where he kind of cut through in the middle a few times. Three times, and then he chopped them so that you have nice, like, kind of uniform sized pieces. That's big. Baby's biting the water bottle in there.
That
Sounds about right. He likes to chew on everything. Here. All right. So there we go. Garlic is good. I'm surprised I don't see Babs in the chat. Is she on the chat tonight? No Babs? I'm going to give these shallots a quick stir. These, again, are so finely chopped like this that they're going to mellow out like pretty easily, and they'll get nice and tender quickly. Now that was the beak to our asparagus, so I'm going to check on that. Is that a Timex digital watch from Amazon?
It's a Casio.
This one is a Casio, yeah. There you go. It's a Casio. Welcome, Paul's Modeling Company. Welcome. All right, so here's our asparagus. I'm going to show the camera really quickly. Here's our asparagus. So it's already like cooking up pretty nicely. So I'm just going to give it a quick toss with the spoon so that the other side can cook well. And so that we have like a nice even cook on all sides of the asparagus here. It's not going to take that long for these to cook. It really won't. So I'm just going to kind of toss them up again and then spread them out evenly on the sheet pan. And now they're starting to brown up a little bit too. And we'll put them in for like, I would say like another 5 minutes.
Should be plenty.
Again, since these pieces are pretty small, they're going to cook quickly. Alright, those go back in. Set the timer again for 5 minutes. Here we go. Our water is starting to boil for the pasta, so that's good. I'm going to let it come to a really nice boil, and then I'll salt the water really well. Salt it like the sea, like we always say. So you want to put a decent amount of salt in there, because then that's the only way you're going to flavor your pasta.
So the garlic, since we have a pretty good amount, you see that I came back and diced it even a little bit finer. And then,
Like mincing it almost.
like, yeah, definitely to a mince. And then I actually added a little salt over the top, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to press and almost turn this into a little bit of paste. So I'm going to take my knife using my dull side with my fingers. I'm going to press and pull the garlic, and this is going to release all the oils inside. It's going to turn it into almost like a garlic paste. Just because there is so much, I want it to liquefy into the sauce. This is just an ad-lib that I decided to do based on, we have a lot of garlic.
Awesome. And yes, we're from New Jersey. Won't say specifically where.
Somewhere.
Somewhere in New Jersey. Well, I guess you could say like a New York suburb. New York City suburb. So we are New Jersey Italian Americans.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Awesome. You could really smell that garlic in here now that you did that. It has a really nice aroma. You're getting the oils from the garlic. Now we've added the garlic in here. The mince. And I'm lowering the heat on this when we did this because I don't want that garlic to burn. So you're going to really want to make sure that you're stirring this pretty frequently because garlic can burn very quickly.
Add some crushed red. It's about a half teaspoon. Not go for too much heat, just a touch of flavor.
Oh, that's disappointing. The stream is laggy. It's chopping off and on. That's strange. I don't know if that's ever really happened before.
Our stream is?
Yeah. I don't know if that's... I don't really know how to
resolve that.
To resolve that right now. That hasn't really been an issue before. It could be the internet.
It could be.
Overall in the house. Sorry about that. Anybody watching?
So tomatoes, I'm just going to slice them all in half. And like we said, we have about 10 to 15, give or take.
Yeah, about 10 to 15. Cut those in half. We're going to throw those into... Oh, we lost that one, so maybe 14. Throw that in the trash bowl. Okay, I'm going to salt up this water now because that's up and boiling. Yeah, could be our accents. What do you think, Mark? Gave us away?
I said Jersey. Alright, tomatoes in.
Salting the pepper. Salting the water for the pasta. And I'm going to throw that pasta in now.
Touch more olive oil.
Oh, let's show everybody what that looks like. It looks really pretty because that in itself looks really good to eat. So we've got those tomatoes there, the shallots, and the garlic. And we have that on like a medium heat right now to kind of heat through. Those tomatoes are going to start to kind of break apart a little bit and burst and get some of their juices into the sauce as well. I'm going to put the linguine in right now. That's ready to go.
Yeah.
And our asparagus is almost done too. So like this is really going to come together pretty quickly. All that's really going to take a little while now is this pasta.
Yeah.
And I need a scissor for this. I am like not opening this well. Oh, got it. Never mind. All right, and we're going to use a whole pound of pasta here. We never go shy with the pasta.
No, we don't.
So it's going to go in our pot. We're going to give that a stir, make sure that everything kind of gets coated with the water and sinks down to the bottom. No need to cut the linguine. It will mellow out and go down to the bottom and everything will be coated. Very nice. Okay. stir this up so that all of the linguine is in the water or underwater submerged so that it can cook evenly. All right, that's perfect timing. Our asparagus is probably ready to come out. So we'll take that out as well. Yeah, that looks good. And we'll give it a nice taste here to see if that's cooked through where we want it to be. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. And so you're kind of smushing up those tomatoes,
Nice
kind of pressing them down a little bit, get the juices out. Here we go. What do you think?
That's perfect.
Great. Okay, we're sure. What's that?
I'm gonna write it.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, so he's just going to take these and put them right in.
Look at these little guys.
Yep, they're nice and brown and crisp. Good. We're going to go right into the sauce.
Tilt it to the front.
Perfect. Excellent. Put this right down in the oven because we don't have a lot of space.
All together.
And our linguine, I'm going to put on the timer for about 7 minutes now because it's been in a little bit. Oh, that's looking really nice already. Yeah, that looks great. So now we're going to add a little bit of butter into here, and we're also going to add some white wine to kind of get the sauce going. And then we will also add some of the starchy water from the pasta as well. We usually do that with our sauces. It gives it a nice texture, and it gives it a nice flavor as well.
The butter is just going to thicken up our sauce. It also give us another solid in there to prevent our garlic from burning. A little more liquid. It's come together very nicely.
All right, and I gave that pasta another quick stir so that everything is kind of cooking evenly. But yeah, this looks so good already. And honestly, you can leave out the crab meat altogether.
Yeah, and you can just go veggies.
And you could just use the vegetables if you wanted to be vegetarian. This would be really, really nice over pasta by itself. So it would be like a little bit more like a primavera, I guess. So it looks good to me. Baby's playing with grandma. Ooh, is that for me to try?
It is.
Yay!
I'm very timed sometimes.
So he is again kind of smushing up these tomatoes, giving the sauce a little bit of like a little bit more thickness.
Yeah. That's good.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice.
Yum.
All right, I'm gonna add in my wine. I'm half a cup of wine. I'm gonna turn my heat up to high. So I want to cook this wine, the alcohol out of the wine. I'm gonna add a little salt, just a touch of salt and pepper. I'm also gonna zest some lemon in there.
That'll just give it a nice little citrus bite, freshen it up a little bit, brighten it up a little bit. And then really, once this pasta's ready to go, and really when it's al dente, we're gonna pull it. We'll throw it right into the sauce with a little bit of that starchy water, and we'll throw the crab meat in there.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
We'll let it heat through a little bit. We want the crab meat to kind of heat, because right now it's still cold for being in the fridge. But that doesn't take very long to.
And it's already cooked, so you're
Yeah.
just heating it.
And then we'll plate it, put a little Parmesan cheese, and you are good to go. So this is a meal that's like really like 30 minutes. Normally we cook a meal that's like about yeah.
Friday is
pasta
fast.
meals like this are great for a Friday night. Fast, easy meal. All right, I'm checking on this pasta now.
Bam, crab meat.
All right, the pasta needs about 2 more minutes, and then we'll switch it over. And really, you could.
Sorry.
This crab meat too. You can put it in. If you want to go a little bit more crab heavy, you can get a second container.
Yeah. This is
an
what is it,
8
8
ounce.
ounces? Yeah, it's a pretty good amount. It's the boss.
Yeah,
Boss
that's an
crab
8
meat.
ounce crab container, so you could certainly use the second one, do 16 ounces, go
Yeah.
full out. Depending on how many people you can have.
Yeah.
But it's just us and Grandma.
It'll work. So I zested half of a lime, or lemon rather. As you can see, just by zesting around, I'm going to squeeze half of the lemon in. This is very chopped-esque.
Mm-hmm.
They always do this. They don't use one of the
juice press?
presses.
We have one of those. I don't know why he's not using it.
I just felt very chefy with them optional off. And so the real reason that I'm doing this is, I'll show you in just a moment,
Capturing the seeds.
capture the seeds.
That's right.
Also smells really good. You know what the other thing is?
Clean
I
your
chopped
hands.
the garlic. The garlic smell normally stays in your hands, but a little lemon goes quite a long way.
Yeah, that's true. So now this
That's
sauce,
too.
you should show everybody what that looks like because it looks really good.
Stir. Perfect.
And I think this pasta is going to be ready to go in there in just a moment too.
Awesome.
I can
sauce
scoop it
jar.
up.
Sounds so well.
They're slipping off, so they're probably ready at this point.
Quick peek at our. There we go, nice and steaming. It's bubbling. We'll give this a quick taste.
Yeah,
I brought it up to a boil. I'm going to bring it down to a simmer. I'm going to take a quick taste.
You have some too.
Perfect. It's hot. It's hot.
Good. All right, pasta's ready to go in there too now.
Yep. I'm going to toss this in, and we'll toss the pasta right on
Perfect. So the crab meat's going in. Give it a nice big stir.
top. Just all the crab meat and crab juice that gets in there is also just going to add flavor. Good to go. I'm just going to break it up with a spoon.
Be aware too with crab meat like this. Sometimes you might get a shell here
It's
or there.
possible.
So you can kind of give it a quick inspection when you put it into your
I just wanted to eat that piece.
when you put it in. But you should be good to go. There, and then this pasta is gonna go on top of that.
Mix.
Well, it's good. Let me get some plates ready for us.
So I'm just mixing this all together. And then I will put my pasta in.
I don't know what that noise
Seems like somebody's hammering outside.
is.
There we go. Let's put our pasta in.
Oh. And then you also have the cup there if you need it for the water. Just start the water. You're good. All right, now that pasta's going right on top. Gonna add a little bit of that starchy cooking water as well, or pasta water as well.
Yep.
And like you would usually do about, I'd say like a quarter of a cup when you do
that sounds
this. Just on the money. Pour that right on top. And then he's gonna give it a nice toss, and we'll show the camera what this looks like. A little hunk of crab meat just fell out. It's a bummer.
I'll still eat that.
He will. I wouldn't. It fell on the stove. He'll eat it. He'll eat anything. Oh, this looks so good.
It does.
Right, and we'll show you what that looks like. Delicious, crabby, veggie goodness. Oh, you know what we didn't put in that we said we were going to? Spinach.
That's what I forgot about.
We forgot about it.
I don't really
I don't think we need it. So nix that off of our ingredient list there. If you want to add it in, you could certainly add it in, and I would do it right when you added the crab meat before you added the pasta in, because spinach takes like only a couple of seconds really to whip down, especially when it's in a liquid.
Mhm.
But we're going to keep it with the asparagus and some tomatoes. And then we're going to plate it up really nice. Throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese, maybe a sprinkle of the crushed red pepper, and then we're going to be good to go. He's going to use his special pasta tongs here. Look like big tweezers. And throw those on to the plate. It's making a nice little mound here. Pretty.
I'm gonna come back for the
For the vegetables, yeah.
toppings.
Looks good to me. Perfect. And once we plate this up and we're ready to go eat our dinner, we'll later on tonight post this on our Instagram page with the recipe. Please follow us on there if you don't already. It's at OurDinnerisDunn. And I'll also put this video onto our YouTube channel if you came a little bit late in the game and have missed some of the video. We'll put that on there for YouTube. That looks good. The asparagus and the tomatoes give it a nice, like, bright color too. I am getting very hungry. It was a really beautiful day here where we are, and we went for a really nice long walk with our son, and got some sun and some fresh air. And whenever the weather's like this, I like to eat lighter.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
the way it is.
Meal for today.
This is summer comfort food, really, in the fall. Okay, sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese, yummy, yummy. And then usually adds a little bit of crushed red pepper on top too, and then we're good to go. I'll show you what these plates look like when they're done. Perfect. Yum! All right. Take a look at that. Beautiful. Looks good. I'm excited to eat. So, like we said, our dinner is done for tonight. Thanks for joining us. You can join us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time to cook along with us in our kitchen some of the meals that we eat at home on the regular. We'll post this on our Instagram page later for you with the full recipe. So thanks again for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night, everybody.